Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of My Book of Mormon with me, David Michael. So we are going to jump right in this time to Chapter 9 of Mosiah. Actually, that's not true. I don't know why I say that. I'm sorry. We're not going to jump right in, because first, I have to thank a new bishop. So yes, we must ordain Bishop David Hubble. So thank you, David, for becoming a MIMO bishop. You should wear that title very proud. You're part of an elite group, and I thank you for it. Thank you, Bishop David Hubble. Yeah. So I don't really have that many more updates, because here's the deal. I am going on vacation soon. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, but I know I committed to an episode every Monday, so I'm basically going to record in advance. So I'm going to record in advance, and then take a break from vacation just to post them, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, these next few episodes that you hear probably aren't going to have a whole lot of updates in the beginning. I'm going to start reading. It's going to be more reading, less babbling. Well, at least that's the intent. So, let's see, last time. So I decided to do a little back reading, right? So I'm not reading ahead to figure out what's going on. I decided to read backwards to see what's going on. So, alright, this all seems to stem from that group of people that left the Zarahemla. So I found it. It was an Omni, where it referenced these people that left. Didn't mention their names, but then later in, chapter 7 of Mosiah, so 2 episodes ago, we learned that they actually they said it was Zeniff. Zeniff is this guy. He was the one who left the Zarahemla to come to, reclaim the Nephite lands, and he made a deal with the, Lamanite overlords of the area that he could get the land back, but he had to pay this crazy tax rate, 50%. So, yeah, I think that's where we are. So, anyway, so that's who Zeniff was. Last time I heard the name Zeniff, and I was like, I don't remember who that is. I think that's who it is. So, okay. All right. So, I'm going to start reading. Yeah, I'm just jumping right in. That's how it's going to be these next few episodes. So, Chapter 9 of Mosiah. So this is interesting. In the very top, before it says Chapter 9, there's a little note, but it's not italicized. So, I think this is part of the real book. So, I'm going to read it. It says, The Record of Zeniff. That's okay. An account of his people from the time they left the land of Zarahemla until the time they were delivered out of the hands of the Lamanites. Well, there you go. So I'm glad that I went back and looked up who Zeniff was, because I guess it's his story. It seems like this is like a flashback, I guess, because in the last episode we had Ammon and the current king of the Nephites, whatever his name was. Yeah, they were all buddy and talking about that they found some lost civilization that was destroyed, and they wanted to. So yeah, now we're going back in time to when Zeniff first left the Zarahemla tribe, I guess. So this is like a flashback to Omni. I don't know why they don't just write this thing chronologically. But anyway, here we go. Chapter 9, verse 1. I, Zeniff, having been taught in all the language of the Nephites, and having had a knowledge of the land of Nephi, or of the lands of our fathers' first inheritance, and having been sent as a spy among the Lamanites, that I might spy out their forces, that our army might come upon them and destroy them. But when I saw that which was good among them, I was desirous that they should not be destroyed. All right, a lot to absorb there. So first off, all the language of the so he speaks Nephite, or whatever the language was, and at first it was like he left to just take the land back. But now apparently he was like a spy among this group. So he was a scout. He was scouting out the enemy. And he was like, hey, let's take them out. But then he saw something good. So this is interesting. The Lamanites have some good qualities. We haven't heard that before. They were always stiff-necked. But now apparently some of them are good, and therefore should not be completely wiped out. So they get a pass on genocide. Good for you, Zeniff. Not advocating mass murder. Therefore I contended with my brethren in the wilderness, for I would that our ruler should make a treaty with them. But he, being an austere and bloodthirsty man, command that I should be slain. Wow. Rough ruler. All right. But I was rescued by the shedding of much blood, for father fought against father, and brother against brother, until the great number of our army was destroyed in the wilderness, and we returned, those of us that were spared, to the land of Zarahemla, to relate that tale to their wives and their children. Wow. So Zeniff said, let's not completely annihilate them, and his ruler, whoever that was, said, no good. You have to die for that. And then because of that argument, they all started killing each other. So this whole Zarahemla scouting party just wiped themselves out, apparently. And those few who survived went crawling back, bloodied and bruised, to the Zarahemlas. Great. Great group of people. I think we should all just look at these great people and use it as a model for our lives. Yeah, it's wonderful. And yet I, being overzealous to inherit the land of our fathers, collected as many as were desirous to possess the land, and started again on our journey into the wilderness to go up to the land. But we were smitten with famine and sore affliction, for we were slow to remember the Lord our God. Well, there you have it. So yeah, I remember this from Omni, that they went out and they came back, beat to hell. And then he got more people and left again. And that was the last we heard of him. And I do remember one of the people that left the second time was the brother of King Omni, or whoever it was at the time. Whatever, some prince or something was among the second group. But apparently his group, they forgot God. They just forgot. They were slow to remember the Lord their God. And you know what happens when you don't remember God? Famine and sore afflictions. So you better get your remembering on, people. Nevertheless, after many days wandering in the wilderness, we pitched our tents in the place where our brethren were slain, which was near to the land of our fathers. All right, so they're back to the Civil War battle site, and it's apparently near the original Nephite lands. And it came to pass, drink, that I went again with 4 of my men into the city, in unto the king, that I might know the disposition of the king, and that I might know if I might go in with my people and possess the land in peace. I don't see that happening. I love that. He's like, let me send some people in. And he's like, hey, can we come, can we just take this land? Can we stick a flag in the ground? Are you guys cool with that? I'm sure the king in that city will be like, oh yeah, all yours. I'm done. That's okay. And I went in unto the king, and he covenanted with me that I might possess the land of Lehi Nephi and the land of Shalom. Okay, plan worked. That's great. So he just walked in, and he's like, hi, are you the king? The king's like, yes. And he's like, can I have your kingdom? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. And he also commanded that his people should depart out of the land, and I and my people went into the land that we might possess it. Wow. How did he do this? How exactly did Zeniff convince this king to not only let him take over, but all of his people had to leave? So this brain-dead king was I guess he was just tired of being king. So he's like, everyone, all my people, gather around. I have a proclamation. They're like, what is it? And he's like, get the hell out. These other people are taking our land. And they're like, why? Do they have an army? It's like, no, it's just a handful, but they asked really politely. That's awesome. Okay. And we began to build buildings and to repair the walls of our city. Yea, drink, even the walls of the city of Lehi Nephi and the city of Shalom. They keep referencing Shalom. I don't know what it is. Just another city that was a part of the Nephi kingdom, apparently. And we began to till the ground, yea, drink, even with all manner of seeds, and with seeds of corn, and wheat, and of barley, and with nees. Nees? Do they mean peas? Because it's Neas. It might have been a typo. This is nees, whatever that is. And with shum. And the world is shum. Sheum. Maybe nees was right. Maybe they have vegetables no one's ever heard of. Anyway, and with seeds of all manner of fruits, and we did begin to multiply and prosper in the land. So, all right. They are pumping out some babies, getting a good population going. Now it was the cunning and the craftiness of King Laman, that Laman, to bring my people into bondage, that he yielded up the land that we might possess it. Okay, so now it sounds like... Okay. Now it's starting to make sense. So this king that just gave up the land and told all his people to move, apparently was King Laman of the Lamanites. And so him leaving was actually a ruse, a bit of a scam. Let's see how this plays out. Therefore it came to pass, drink, that after we had dwelt in the land for the space of 12 years, that King Laman began to grow uneasy, lest by any means my people should wax strong in the land, and they could not overpower them and bring them into bondage. Okay, so he wasn't afraid of him 12 years ago, but he is now. How many babies did they have? My goodness, in 12 years. And they were populating that much. That must have been a serious production of babies going on there. And besides, even then, they're babies. At best, they're 12. You really worried about some 12-year-olds? So I don't know. Laman's, I don't know what he's worried about. He's worried that this little ragtag group of people is somehow gonna take over his people and make them slaves. Because, that's what you did. If you're stronger than your neighbor, you just make him your slave. That was a very moral act back then, I guess. Now they were lazy and idolatrous people. I don't know who they is. I guess that means the Lamanites were lazy and idolatrous. Okay. Therefore they were desirous to bring us into bondage, that they might glut themselves with the labors of our hands, yea, drink, that they might feast themselves upon the flocks of our fields. Yeah. So now the Lamanites are like, well, before they get strong, it can make us slaves. There's only one solution to that. We have to make them slaves first. Yeah. What else are you going to do? Gotta make them slaves. Therefore it came to pass, drink, that King Laman began to stir up his people, that they should contend with my people. Therefore there began to be wars and contentions in the land. All right, so now we have ourselves a good old-fashioned Lamanite Nephite battle. Yeah, or not just a battle, a war. A whole blown-out war. All right, hope we get... Is this a battle chapter coming up? Could be. Could be. Let's see what happens. For in the 13th year of my reign in the land of Nephi, away on the south of the land of Shalom, when my people were watering and feeding their flocks and tilling their lands, a numerous host of Lamanites came upon them and began to slay them and to take off their flocks and the corns of their fields. So there you go. There's a bunch of farmers and some sheep herders or something, and the Lamanites just sent a raiding party and just wiped them out. Just took them out, and they took their animals and crops. All right, looks like 1 point for the Lamanites in this war so far. Yea, drink, and it came to pass. Drink! Wow, double drink! That was great! Yea, drink, and it came to pass. Drink. That was a fun verse. Sorry in advance. Man, I'm glad I picked the last time to play along with the drinking game. It's morning for me right now, so that would just be irresponsible. I can't be that guy. Anyway, yeah, so 2 drinks right there. Okay, yea, and it came to pass that they fled, all that were not overtaken, even into the city of Nephi, and did call upon me for protection. Okay, so the Lamanite raiding party didn't get them all, didn't kill all of these peasants. Some of them escaped and made it back to the city. Okay, and it came to pass, drink, that I did arm them with bows and with arrows, with swords, with scimitars. I think it's supposed to be like a scimitar, I think. Like one of those Arab-style bow, curved swords, I think. Anyway, and with clubs and with slings and with all manner of weapons which we could invent. They're inventing weapons now. It's great. And I and my people did go forth against the Lamanites to battle. All right. So that raiding party, that was the first strike, and I'll tell you, the Nephites are not going to take that one sitting down. No, sir. Yea, drink. In the strength of the Lord did we go forth to battle against the Lamanites. For I and my people did cry mightily to the Lord that he would deliver us out of the hands of our enemies. For we were awakened to a remembrance of the deliverance of our fathers. All right. So now not only are the Nephites ready for battle, but now they're calling God on their side. That's always a good partner to have when you're at war, apparently. And God did hear our cries, and did answer our prayers, and we did go forth in his might. Yea, drink, we did go forth against the Lamanites. And in one day and a night we did slay 3,043. Good heavens. And we did slay them, even until we had driven them out of our land. Wow, that was a bloody day. So yeah, this Nephites just got up. Every Lamanite they saw, just a bit of ethnic cleansing going on here. Really? Yeah, actually this is absolutely ethnic cleansing. They saw a Lamanite on their land, dead. 3,043 of them in a day, just wiped off the face of the earth. That's something to be very proud of. Good work, God. It's like we knew God was on our side because the ethnic cleansing worked. Good, great God you got there. And I myself with my own hands did help to bury the dead. And behold, to our great sorrow and lamentation, 279 of our brethren were slain. Did some of your people get killed in your campaign of genocide? That's so sad. Okay, so so Zeniff is a real sweetheart. He's really proving himself to be a moral and just character in this book. All right, so that was chapter 9. Chapter 10. Let's dive right in. And it came to pass, drink. This is another drunken episode. That we again began to establish the kingdom, and we again began to possess the land in peace. And I caused that there should be weapons of war made of every kind, that thereby I might have weapons for my people against the time the Lamanites should come up again to war against my people. All right, so he won the day. He effectively wiped out all the Lamanites that were on his land, and but he knows that they're probably not real happy about that, right? He just killed their family members and whatnot. So he's like, I have a feeling they're going to strike back, so we better be prepared. So, all right, good thinking. And I set guards round about the land, that the Lamanites might not come upon us again unawares and destroy us. And thus I did guard my people and my flocks, and keep them from falling into the hands of our enemies. So, all right, he's got a standing army now, and they're posted around his countryside. to make sure that even a raiding party will be dealt with. All right. Seems logical. I mean, the whole ethnic cleansing thing was a bit mean, but at this point, it sounds like it's just defense, so I kind of can get behind him on this one. And it came to pass, drink again, that we did inherit the land of our fathers for many years. Yea, another drink, for the space of 22 years. Okay, so we had 12, so it looks like, and then they had the ethnic cleansing, and now we got, so for 10 years, they kind of had peace, right? Sounds like, where the Lamanites were just like, they were kept at bay, right? And I did cause that the men should till the ground, and raise all manner of grain, and all manner of fruit of every kind. And I did cause that women should spin. Well, got to keep them thin. Send them to those spin classes. Keep them in shape. I know that's not what it meant, but funny, I think. And toil and work all manner of fine linen. Yea, drink, and every cloth of every kind, that we might clothe our nakedness. And thus we did prosper in the land. So yeah, up until year 22, yeah, they were just running around naked. Yeah, that's probably why so many of them died in battle. If you didn't have clothes, run around naked, that's no protection at all. Anyway, now they got clothes. Woohoo! All right, so then it came to pass, drink, that King Laman died. Well, there you go. See you later, Laman. And surely it couldn't have been the same Laman from way back when, because he would have been hundreds of years old. So it must have just been some descendant, Laman the Eighth or something. And his son began to reign in his stead, and he began to stir his people up in rebellion against my people. Well, of course he did. Therefore they began to prepare for war, and to come up to battle against my people. Yeah, this is very takes me back to the what was it, the Persian Wars, right? Was that it? I think when Xerxes was it Xerxes? I'm butchering this. I'm not. Anyway, it's when the Persians said that they were going to invade Greece because the son took a vow that he would avenge his father or something. So yeah, it sounds like what it is. Son comes into power, and he's like, my dad was never able to pay back those dirty Nephites for killing all of our relatives. So I got his back. This blood debt will be paid. Okay, then I had my spies sent out round the land of Shemlon. Okay, we had a new place now, Shemlon. Great. So we had Shalom, Shemlon, and then the city of Nephi. I think those are the three. That I might discover their preparations, that I might guard against them, that they might not come upon my people to destroy them. And it came to pass, drink, that they came up upon the north of the land of Shalom. All right, not Shemlon, mind you, Shalom, yeah, because that's important. With their numerous hosts, men armed with bows, and with arrows, and with swords, and with scimitars, and with stones, and with slings, and they had their heads shaved, that they were naked. Whoa, wait. They were naked, or their heads were naked? Let's hope it's just their heads. Anyway, and they were girded with a leather girdle about their loins. Well, they can't be naked if they had a leather girdle, right? Anyway, or maybe it's just like that's all they were wearing. Stark naked except for some leather girdling. I don't know. Whatever image in your mind gets you off, then go with that one. And it came to pass, drink, that I caused that the women and children of my people should be hid in the wilderness. And well, don't do that. No. Every time anyone goes in the wilderness, they instantly get lost. Just instantly. So you're never seeing them again. See you later, women and children. Enjoy wandering. Or maybe they'll get lucky and you'll see them again in 40 years or something. Anyway. And I also caused that all my old men that could bear arms, and also all my young men that were able to bear arms, should gather together to go to battle against the Lamanites, and I did place them in their ranks, every man according to his age. Now, if Zeniff was a little bit forward-thinking, he would realize, you know what, women can fight too. Well, give them a weapon. They can help our cause. But no, he didn't think they were any good in battle. Sent them off into the wilderness. So there you go. And it came to pass, drink, that we did go up to battle against the Lamanites. And even I, in my old age, did go up to battle against the Lamanites. All right, so the king, he is right on the front line. He's like, I'm not afraid. Let's bring it on. And it came to pass, drink, that we did go forth in the strength of the Lord to do battle. So, well, yeah, of course he's going. Why should Zeniff be afraid? If God's on his side, they can't possibly get hurt, right? I think so. So anyway, now the Lamanites knew nothing concerning the Lord, nor the strength of the Lord. Therefore they depended upon their own strength. Yet they were a strong people, as to the strength of men. So the Nephites had God on their side. The Lamanites didn't even know who God was. So they're in for a shock. If all of a sudden God comes charging across the field, they're gonna be, that might catch them by surprise. They were a wild and ferocious and a bloodthirsty people, believing in the tradition of their fathers, which is this, believing that they were driven out of the land of Jerusalem because of the iniquities of their fathers, and that they were wronged in the wilderness by their brethren, and they were also wronged while crossing the sea. I love how it said that that's what they believed happened. No, that's exactly what happened. They were driven out of the land of Jerusalem because of their dad. True. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They were wronged in the wilderness by their brethren. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And they were wronged while crossing the sea. All three are true. So, yeah. And then they also forgot that once they got to America, right, they were wronged again. Like Nephi and Sam and Lehi, while he was still alive, would just not stop. Just wouldn't stop telling these two, Laman and Lemuel, that they were just like evil and corrupt and bad. And they're like, what did we do? All we did was say that it was a bad idea to leave Jerusalem. It's all we said. Anyway. And again, they were wronged while in the land of their first inheritance. Okay, yeah. Okay, so they're continuing too. They remember. And after they had crossed the sea, and all this because that Nephi was more faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. So that's all it was. They thought they were wronged, but really they just weren't as faithful as their beloved brother Nephi. Yeah. Therefore he was favored of the Lord, for the Lord heard his prayers and answered them, and he took the lead of their journey in the wilderness. So there you go. God has been on the side of Nephi the whole time, except for when he told that guy, Malachi, not Malachi. What book are we reading? Mosiah. Okay, Mosiah. Right. So he told Mosiah, get out of there, leave the Nephite camp. I'm not on their side anymore. I'm now with you. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with whose horse God's betting on. Anyway. And his brethren were wroth with him, because they understood not the dealings of the Lord. They were also wroth with him upon the waters, because they hardened their hearts against the Lord. Yes, it's always their fault. Anything bad that happened to that family was always Laman and Lemuel, because they weren't faithful enough. Poor guys. And again, they were wroth with him when they had arrived in the promised land, because they said that he had taken the ruling of the people out of their hands, and they sought to kill him. We know all this. I mean, at first it was kind of like, yeah, we get it. They thought they were wrong, but now it's like replaying the whole story. It's like, really, seriously, we know this is not news. Anyway. Okay. And again, they were wroth with him because he departed into the wilderness as the Lord had commanded him, and took the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, for they said that he robbed them. All right. So I guess they were claiming ownership for the plates. Man, those plates are really important to these people. I don't know. I would have just said, dude, you're leaving? Nephi, you want to leave our camp? Go. What's that? You want these plates? Take the plates. Who cares? Just get out of our hair. That's pretty much would have been my attitude. But apparently they really liked the plates for whatever reason. And thus they have taught their children that they should hate them, and they should murder them, and they should rob and plunder them, and do all they could to destroy them. Therefore they have an eternal hatred towards the children of Nephi. Oof, that is a serious blood feud they got going there. There are no exceptions. You see a Nephite, kill him. Murder, rob, plunder, whatever. They're not human to us. For this very cause has King Laman, by his cunning and lying craftiness and his fair promises, deceived me, that I have brought this my people up into this land, that they may destroy them. Yea, drink. And we have suffered these many years in the land. How have you suffered? Okay, so Zeniff is claiming they're suffering. They're not suffering. You got your land back, exactly what you wanted, check. There were some, it sounded like, rather peaceful Lamanites living on your land. You murdered them, check, no more Lamanites. And you raised a large enough army to, defend your borders, check. I don't understand how he's suffering these many years. Sounds like things were going pretty well. They had all the crops they needed. They were breeding like jackrabbits. Anyway, but they're the victim now. Oh, we're suffering, oh. And now I, Zeniff, after having told all these things unto my people concerning the Lamanites, I did stimulate them to go to battle with their might, putting their trust in the Lord. Therefore we did contend with them face to face. So yeah, this is pure psychological warfare. Or not really psychological warfare, more propaganda. It's propaganda. So Zeniff was just spewing out some propaganda about, hey, we're about to go fight these people. You may think, wait a minute, why are we fighting? Can't we all get along? No. Let me tell you. They're just dripping with evil. They wake up in the morning thinking of ways to murder you. So we have to kill them. Well, pure propaganda. Well done, Zeniff. And it came to pass, drink, that we did drive them again out of our land, and we slew them with a great slaughter. Good God, even so many that we did not number them. So before it was like several thousand, they numbered them. So this is a lot more than that. So a lot of Lamanites just died. Yeah, again, they're like, oh, we're suffering in the land. No, you're not. You're not suffering at all. You're winning everything. You continue to win. So yeah, they won that battle too. So now, what is it? It's 1 point for the Lamanites for kind of the initial shock factor, right? They came in, little raiding party, took out some villagers or whatever. But ever since then, all the points have been going into the Nephites' camp there. They're taking care of business. All right, let's see here. And it came to pass, drink, that we returned again to our own land, and my people again began to tend to their flocks and till to their ground. So yeah, pretty much was like, he, what's the word when you force people into the military? Drafted, I guess. He drafted all of the citizenry, well, at least all the men, right? And gave them weapons and said, we're going to battle, and they just whipped ass, killed all the Lamanites, so many they couldn't even count all the dead bodies. And they came back home, and they're like, all right, we're soldiers now. He's like, nah, go back to farming. Yeah, that's what I want you to do. And now I, being old, did confer the kingdom upon one of my sons. Therefore I say no more. Will you really? What do you guys want to bet that when I turn the page, Zeniff is still talking? Something tells me you will. They always do this to us. I am making into my speaking. Hold on. No, real quick. Okay. And may the Lord bless my people. Amen. Wonderful. That was in chapter 10. All right. So, chapter 11. This was, you know what? That was a battle. I was promised battle chapters. That was a battle. Pretty bloody. But, that was definitely a battle. So we were not let down. So we are going to start on chapter 11 next. All right. Chapter 11, verse 1. And now it came to pass, drink, that Zeniff, suddenly I can't say his name, Zeniff. Why did I suddenly forget it? Anyway, Zeniff conferred the kingdom upon Noah, one of his sons. Therefore Noah began to reign in his stead, and he did not walk in the ways of his father. Doesn't sound good for Noah. No. So, behold, he did not keep the commandments of God. Noah, how could you? But he did walk after the desires of his own heart, and he had many wives and concubines. And if there is one thing this book has taught us, it is one wife per man. Yeah, it's been pretty clear about that. And he did cause his people to commit sin. How do you cause someone to commit sin? You, go sin. Raw. Anyway. And do that which was abominable in the sight of the Lord. Yea, drink. And they did commit whoredoms. Actually, this is starting to sound like a fun kingdom. And all manner of wickedness. All right. So they were whoring around, and that's no good. God does not like whoredom. And he laid a tax, 1/5 part of all they possessed, 1/5 part of their gold and their silver, and 1/5 part of their ziff. Not their ziff. Come on. Let them keep their ziff. What the hell is ziff? Anyway, and of their copper, and of their brass, and of their iron, and 1/5 part of their fatlings, and 1/5 part of all their grain. Okay. I guess a fatling, doesn't that mean like a pig or something? Hope so. I hate to think what else it means. But yeah. I don't know, 20% tax rate. That's reasonable, I think. I'm fairly certain I pay more than that today. So yeah, seems like a decent tax code. Certainly better than 50%. And and all this did he take to support himself and his wives and his concubines, and also his priests and their wives and their concubines. Thus he had changed the affairs of the kingdom. Well, okay, so he's not investing any of the tax dollars back into the kingdom. He's just making himself rich. All right, well. Yeah, now the tax rate seems a bit high. 20% of everyone just for you to live on. Well, I guess if you have all those wives and concubines, they're always wanting more. Oh, I want to go shopping. Okay. For he put down all the priests that had been consecrated by his father, and consecrated new ones in their stead, such as were lifted up in the pride of their hearts. That's great. So he killed all of the Zeniff priests, and then he said, I only want really proud priests. So anyone that's really proud, raise your hand. You? Okay, you're a priest now. Woohoo. Yea, drink. And thus they were supported in their laziness, and in their idolatry, and in their whoredoms, by the tax which King Noah had put upon his people. Thus did the people labor exceedingly to support iniquity. All right, so all the priests and all basically the ruling class and the priestly class were just living it up, sitting on their fat asses, getting paid by all the poor people. Yea, drink. And they also became idolatrous, because they were deceived by the vain and flattering words of the kings and priests. Wait a minute. For they did speak flattering things unto them. Who's they? I guess the people. Yeah, it must be the people. So yeah, the people were out there slaving away, trying to get the kings and the priests rich. But the kings and the priests just kept telling them nice things. Man, you look really good in that loincloth. Yeah, really brings out your features. And that's all it took for them to become idolatrous. Okay. And it came to pass, drink, that King Noah built many elegant and spacious buildings, and he ornamented them with fine works of wood, and all manner of precious things, of gold, and of silver, and of iron, and of brass, and of Ziph. Gotta remember the Ziph, everybody. And of copper. Does anyone know what Ziph is? Let me know. The world is Ziph. Anyway, actually, I forgot I have an e-reader, so I can just hit the word and see if the Nope, no definition found. Not a shock. Okay. And he also built him a spacious palace. Well, first of all, it sounds like he was doing some city works with the tax money, right? Because he's building a bunch of elegant, spacious buildings. It didn't say they were just for him to live in. So, come on. He's not spending it all on himself. I'm just saying. And he also built him a spacious palace, and a throne in the midst thereof, all of which was of fine wood, and was ornamented with gold and silver, and with precious things. Okay? I mean, he is the king. He deserves a palace and a throne, doesn't he? I would imagine. And he also caused that his workmen should work all manner of fine work within the walls of the temple, of fine wood, and of copper, and of brass. I guess they're out of Ziph. Too bad. And the seats which were set apart for the high priests, which were above all other seats, he did ornament with pure gold, and he caused a breastwork to be built before them. What the heck's a breastwork? I don't know. I know where my mind goes when I hear breastwork, but don't think that's what this is talking about. That they might rest their bodies and their arms upon, while they should speak lying in vain words to his people. Weird. It's almost like they created like beds for him. They didn't have to sit upright when they're spreading lies to the people. This is a lazy kingdom. And it came to pass, drink, that he built a tower near the temple. Yea, drink again, a very high tower, even so high that he could stand upon the top thereof, and overlook the land of Shalom, and also the land of Shemlon, which was possessed by the Lamanites. Oh, Shemlon is a Lamanite city. Huh, who knew? And he could look over all the lands round about. So, can't blame him. Benjamin had one of those, didn't he? Didn't Benjamin have some big tower he could speak to the masses on? So, Noah wanted a tower. Got himself a tower. Good for you, Noah. And it came to pass that he caused many buildings to be built in the land of Shalom, and he caused a great tower to be built on the hill north of the land Shalom, which had been a resort for the children of Nephi at the time they fled out of the land, and thus he did do with the riches which he obtained by the taxation of his people. He's building up the cities. That's okay. He built up Shalom, put a bunch of cities in there, got himself a watchtower. Understandable. Lamanites are still just on the other side of the border, not too happy with him. So yeah, he's doing some good things with the tax dollars that he's getting, it sounds like. All right, and it came to pass, drink, that he placed his heart upon his riches, and he spent his time in riotous living. Oof. So he was a party animal, I guess, with his wives and his concubines. And he did also his priests, and so did also his priests spend their times with harlots. Man, this is an orgy of a kingdom. Everybody's having sex with everybody, it sounds like. And it came to pass, drink. Man, that's got to be like the 50th drink. I know somebody, yes, keeping count for us, but that seems like it's a lot. So to anyone actually playing the game, I assume you're unconscious at this point. So hopefully you go back and listen to this again. But anyway, we're going to keep going. It came to pass, he planted vineyards round about in the land, and he built wine presses, and made wine in abundance, and therefore he became a wine bibber, and also his people. Yeah, see, he's doing good things. Yeah, I mean, sure, he's a king, he let it get to his head a little, and he made a few ornate things, he made himself a nice palace, okay, I mean, kings do that, and he got a bunch of wives and concubines and harlots, okay, he is the king, sometimes it's good to be the king. And now he's making vineyards and he's getting wine for everybody. So in terms of like kings, he doesn't sound that bad. Sounds pretty, taking care of people. Sounds like. And 20% tax, that's not outrageous. Especially when you're getting wine for free back. It says they have it in abundance, so I'm thinking that's pretty cool. Yeah, and it came to pass, drink, that the Lamanites began to come in unto his people upon small numbers, and to slay them in the fields, while they were tending their flocks. Well, okay, so little raiding parties now kind of coming in and picking on them, right? Just coming in and killing a few people and getting out. So there you go. This has got to be an annoyance. And King Noah sent guards round about the land to keep them off. Again, sound king. He's trying to defend his people, but he did not send a sufficient number. Underestimated the enemy. And the Lamanites came upon them and killed them, and drove many of their flocks out of the land. Thus the Lamanites began to destroy them, and to exercise their hatred upon them. So there you have it. King Noah was too busy with just simple domestic issues and trying to just build up his kingdom, forgot about those Lamanites north of the border. Well, I assume it's north. I don't know. It could be any direction. They haven't said. Or maybe they said and I missed it. Anyway, so he just didn't spend enough time on national security. Yeah, he didn't, or national defense. He just kind of ignored that. And we heard, hey, there's some Lamanites that are causing us trouble out in the fields. He's like, all right, let's send some guards out there. They got killed. And now the Lamanites are like, whoa, they got weak. Ha-ha, now's our chance. Let's see what happens. And it came to pass, drink, that King Noah sent his armies against them, and they were driven back. And they drove them back for a time. Therefore, they returned rejoicing in their spoil. Who? Who was rejoicing in their spoil? Can't imagine King Noah. So the sent his armies against them, and they were driven back. Oh, I get it. So King Noah's army sent the Lamanites back. I thought it said, because again, it just says they, and assumes you know what it means. Yeah, I thought it was saying that King Noah sent his armies, and King Noah's army was driven back. But no, sounds like they drove the Lamanites back. And now they're just like jumping up and down. Like nobody can mess with us. We're awesome. And now, because of this great victory, they were lifted up in the pride of their hearts and did boast in their own strength, saying that their 50 could stand against thousands of the Lamanites. Ooh, they are pretty cocky now, aren't they? And thus they did boast and did delight in blood. Okay. And the shedding of blood of their brethren. And this because of the wickedness of their kings and priests. How are their kings and priests wicked? I guess because they're whoring around, I guess. And so because the kings and priests are whoring around, mind you, because of that, the people suddenly wanted to kill. Yeah, that makes sense. If I ever had a leader and I found out that he was, kind of a whoremonger, certainly first thing I would do is go kill someone. I'm sure with all of you that's the same. So this logic makes sense. And it came to pass, drink, that there was a man among them whose name was, let me see here, Abinadi. You know what? I think I might actually be pronouncing that right. Because that kind of that has the Book of Mormon ring to it, doesn't it? Abinadi. That's what we're going with. I hope I'm right. I might actually have that right. Okay. And he went forth among them and began to prophesy, saying, Behold, thus saith the Lord. Okay, now we have a party pooper. Abinadi sounds like he's going to come around and say, Now put down your wine, get rid of your whores. And he's people aren't going to like this at all. Anyway. Now, behold, thus saith the Lord, and thus hath he commanded me, saying, Go forth, and say unto this people, Thus saith the Lord, We be unto this people, for I have seen their abominations, and their wickedness, and their whoredoms, and except they repent, I will visit them in mine anger. Okay, so Abinadi is speaking on behalf of God, and God's like, last warning, there's going to be some trouble. You guys keep up with all this shenanigans. And except they repent and turn to the Lord their God, behold, I will deliver them into the hands of their enemies. Yea, drink, and they shall be brought into bondage, and they shall be afflicted by the hand of their enemies. Oh, God. Literally, God. There's got to be a better way. That just seems mean. You say you care about these people, and all right, fine. So they're having a little fun with their privates. Great. Good for them. It sounds like it's all consensual. And they're drinking a little. And now you're like, I'm going to make you slaves because of it. Man, it just doesn't seem, the punishment doesn't seem to fit the crime. That's all I'm saying. And it shall come to pass. Now that one we're not drinking on. We all agreed, right? Last episode, I was saying drink on it shall come to pass. And a lot of people emailed me very upset about it. Like, come on now. It's hard enough as it is. Don't go changing the rules. So that's not a drink. Fair enough. And it shall come to pass that they shall know that I am the Lord their God, and am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of my people. That's fantastic. Isn't being jealous a sin too? Right? Isn't it one of the commandments, like thou shalt not covet, which is essentially the same, saying like don't be jealous of what your neighbor has? But God apparently can do it. So God is allowed to break his own commandments, because he's a jealous God. Rah. No, you're paying attention to things that aren't me. Rah. Nice guy. And it shall come to pass that except this people repent and turn unto the Lord their God, they shall be brought into bondage. You already said that. And none shall deliver them. Already said that too. Except that it be the Lord, the Almighty God. Okay. So same thing. Yea, drink, and it shall come to pass that when they shall cry unto me, I will be slow to hear their cries. Yea, drink, and I will suffer them that they will be smitten by their enemies. He's such a dick. So he's up in heaven, and they're like, God, please, we repent, we're sorry. And he's like, not listening, la, 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 can't hear you, la, la, la. What a guy. Okay. And except they repent in sackcloth and ashes, and cry mightily to the Lord their God, I will not hear their prayers. neither will I deliver them out of their afflictions, and thus saith the Lord, and thus hath he commanded me. So, okay, you gotta get down to your underwear and cover yourself in ashes, and then somehow God then will hear you. That's strange. I don't know how that helps him hear, but apparently that's what he wants. And now it came to pass that when Abinadi had spoken these words unto them, they were wroth with him, and they sought to take away his life, but the Lord delivered him out of their hands. Not a shock. I would have bet my next paycheck that is what was going to happen. Actually, I'm shocked that he's alive. I really would have figured that the mob just would have killed him. But no. Apparently the Lord delivered him. I don't know. If he floated him out of there, who knows. Now when King Noah had heard of the words which Abinadi had spoken unto the people, he was also wroth, and he said, Who is Abinadi, that I and my people should be judged of him? Who is the Lord? Who is the Lord? He's like, I've never heard of this God person. Really? Really, King Noah? You don't remember anything about your dad at all? Just wiped it out of your memory? Okay, who is the Lord, that shall bring upon my people such great affliction? Yeah, well, I could explain it to you, Noah, but you're not going to like it. If I tell you who this Lord is, you're going to be like, oh my God, we have an evil overlord in the sky, and he just wants to kill us all? And be like, kind of, yeah, kind of. I command you to bring Abinadi hither, that I may slay him, for he has said these things, that he might stir my people to anger one with another, and to raise contentions among my people. Therefore I will slay him. So yeah, King Noah's like, I've worked really hard to get people to abandon this whole God thing, right? He's like, I've been working forever. I want them to stop thinking about God and just start living their lives, having a good time. Have sex with you and have sex with, drink what you want to drink, have a good time. This is a fun kingdom. Now this guy comes in, and he's like, oh, you're all going to be slaves if you keep doing this. And he's like, no, I'm not going to have a religious war in my own kingdom. Time for Abinadi to go. Seems reasonable. Just saying. Okay, so now the eyes of the people were blinded. Therefore they hardened their hearts against the words of Abinadi, and they sought from that time forward to take him. And King Noah hardened his heart against the word of the Lord, and he did not repent of his evil doings. Well, that was in chapter 11. I think that's going to do it for this episode. What is this now? Episode 24. 24, come to a close. And, So again, I'm probably going to stop recording this and take a quick little break and then come back and record 25, because, as I said, be going on vacation soon, so I'm doing a little backlog, recording in advance. So yeah, next episode is just going to be like me reading. Actually, why spoil it? I don't want to spoil what the next episode is going to be. You're just going to have to wait for it. Haha. I'm not going to have to wait. I have to wait like 10 minutes. You have to wait like a whole week. I'm sorry, guys. That must be awful for you. Anyway, this has been lovely. And, the story's I'm kind of liking it. I'm back. I'm back to enjoying the Book of Mormon. I really am. There were parts there where I thought it was tough. And I got to say to all the mimos that wrote me all the words of encouragement, you kind of all send in your It Gets Better videos, right? Like, come on now, keep at it. It's going to get better. It has gotten better. It really has. We have a story again. I know the story kind of bounces around chronologically for no apparent reason, but at least it's a story. So that's it for now. And be back soon, real soon for me. And we'll keep reading about Zeniff. Well, no, not Zeniff. He's dead. King Noah and all his people and their whoredoms. Okay. Thanks for everything. Mimos rock. Bye.
This song is licensed for use within this podcast. All song and copyright information can be found at www.mybookofmormonpodcast.com.